100%, dude. Totally understand.
Thanks, brother. All right, guys.
Alex.
Welcome to another Coffee Talk Friday. Hopefully everybody had a great week. We're here in beautiful but cold Las Vegas.
It is cold, dude.
What are we doing?
It's like 32 degrees.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Office. What
I'll
you
be
doing?
there on Sunday. I'll be there on Sunday through Thursday for WealthCon, Ryan Pinanda's event.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
You guys be
I'll
there? Yeah.
probably see you then. Are you gonna go to? I think
should
Zasha's
go.
gonna put something on.
Yeah. Zasha's gonna
Are
be
you
here.
gonna stay or no?
I gotta leave Sunday.
Oh,
I know. I got stuff.
ooh.
I know.
I'll see you guys there. We're in Vegas.
I got kids with needs.
Oh, I forgot about.
I'm
those
volunteering.
ones,
I'm volunteering at a high school event.
You're such a good dad, bro.
I try. It's good. How's everybody's New Year so far? Alex, what's one thing you're gonna do in the new year?
Well, I'm going to become the best leader I can be again, because I think last year I fell off. You know, I was going through a lot of difficult transactions. I don't know if anybody in real estate feels that way. And it just didn't really feel like didn't have the juice, man. Didn't have that flow. So this year I'm gonna get back to that. I think there's a lot of people on my team that depend on me, my family, all that. And I think I let them down a little bit last year. This year I'm gonna step back up on that side. Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome to hear. I mean,
Sweet. So what does that mean practically? What does that mean to step up more in leadership?
Just starting with myself, you know, the positive, you know, eating clean, that you know, reading on leadership, looking up and, you know, researching people that are great leaders, like the things that I need to do, putting myself around other leaders, so that way I can embody that and not just like talk about it, but do those little things every day. Because I don't know, Brandon Turner talks about this a little bit too, with the like, you're like the energy, and then when you're that energy and they're not getting it from you, then they're not going to execute. Your team is not going to be able to perform at the highest level and become the best versions of themselves if you're like not there helping push them. But you have to push yourself and lead from the front. So I don't think I did that well last year. So I'm going to do that this year with those little things every day.
That's awesome, bro. I love that.
yeah, I love the ownership too, taking ownership, you know, because like that's what a leader does, you know. And I'm sure honestly you probably had to kind of focus like, okay, this is, yeah, if you had problem projects, because we've had problem projects, and like everything kind of almost has to stop so that you can focus and fix the problem, because sometimes it's a big problem to unwind. Yeah, and we had some big problem projects that took up a lot of our time and energy, so that felt like going backwards, which it was actually. But if you don't go backwards to fix that and you just try to, you know, keep going forward, like sometimes you gotta, sacrifice that. So maybe it's just
Because a lot of last year I was like just stuck in my head, like just overwhelmed. Like, oh, how am I gonna do this? How am I do that? And you're not gonna be able to lead people when you're just like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big part of it. I was just like in my head too much, overthinking stuff, not doing the little things that would put me in a better mindset.
Yeah, totally. So every day, are you doing something to carve out time to work on that? Like put in your schedule for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour a day?
He said,
Well, yeah. So I kind of revamped my routines a bit, you know, more, you know, I think that I fell off on those. I think it's easy for all of us to fall off on those. And so just kind of gonna I really like that book, Multipliers. That one was big last year. I read that at the beginning of the year for like the second, third time. And I think I'm gonna go back to my notes and go back to that and read that book again. And then I think, you know, John Maxwell's stuff, he has some great stuff there.
His
You
book
know,
is amazing. So simple
yeah.
and so practical, yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, he has the 21 laws of leadership. I think it's, you know, I've reopened that one. And so just kind of getting back to those things, those little things, daily reading on leadership. And that way it just puts me in that mindset of like, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that. And yeah, so.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I wanted to really start this year off with a lot more reading. And they say leaders are readers. So I was like, yeah, I got to read more. So yeah, so I'm trying to carve out 30 to 45 minutes a day. And it's such a small amount of time, but yet it's so inconvenient. Like it's just the emails, the texts, the calls, the other things just seem to be much more urgent. So I've had to put the reading in literally like at 6 in the morning before everything else starts. And so,
you know, one thing I saw with I don't know if you guys saw that Jeff Bezos did like a 2-hour long podcast with Lex Friedman's podcast. It was great. And Jeff Bezos barely does that kind of stuff, so how awesome is it that we live in a day and age that we can listen to someone like Jeff Bezos talk about building Amazon and what he's doing now and just his thoughts, and what he's learned. And he said that something that has, because I felt the same way. Like I don't love reading unless like I'm, once I find a great book, of course, and I resonate with it, it's awesome. But like I'm always like 3 pages in, I'm like getting itchy, like I gotta be doing something. It's hard to sit there and read through, a book, especially some of the books that we read, right? And but he said that we live in a day that our attention span we're programming our brains to only focus on short form content, so our attention span is gone down substantially. And I agree with that. I feel that within me, because like you're on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok, but I'm sure that's even less time that you have to focus. So he said that we have to also read and do long form attention holding tasks so that we can balance out the the I guess the whatever is kind of reprogram ourselves so that we can focus on long form things like reading, so that's another benefit of reading, is just like it forces us to train our brain again to focus for longer periods of time, as well as watching like a long form podcast or listening to one. So that's another benefit that kind of now I understand, like, okay, reading is important, not just for the knowledge, but to reprogram your brain to, be able to focus longer.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I'm excited, Alex. We'll keep you accountable.
yeah.
Be the leader that you were designed to be. How about Alex Chappell? I don't think I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Oh,
How's it going,
nice.
guys?
Correctly, Chappell?
I met Corey like 5 years ago, back when Greg was throwing meetups on Maui, and Corey
I
flew over
remember.
right when you guys were just starting Kiko.
Yep. That was about 4 years
So-
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So it's been a long time.
ago. Right
And I
on.
met Alex Camacho at his house maybe last year over summertime. So
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Alex? I recognize you. What's up, buddy? How are you?
doing good, doing good.
So what you doing on
yeah,
Maui
we're-
right now, Alex?
Yeah, I'm on Maui, and then my full-time business is running land investment out of Arizona. So I do a lot of flips. I do a lot of flips out there. I do a lot of subdivides, value add kind of stuff with just straight land. Taking something that's got like right now I have one under contract that's a 20-acre piece, 45 minutes outside of Phoenix, that's got a well on it. So I'll split it into 5 parcels and then do a well share agreement so everybody has access to the well, and then sell that again. So those are kind of my main bread and butter, kind of my jam.
That's pretty cool. What part of Arizona are you in?
Everywhere. So
And why Arizona?
I went to college out there.
Oh, gotcha. So are you from Maui?
Yep, grew up in Maui.
Oh, okay. And you went
Grew up in
to
Maui, and then I'm back on Maui now. So I was in Arizona for 5 years, 4 going to school, and then 1 working out there, and then I moved back home and still running the business.
nice.
So,
I'd love to
yeah.
have you unpack that a little bit later today. Just kind of give us some inspiration on what land packaging like looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be super cool. But what's your big thing for this year?
Oh man, the biggest one for me right now is I'm actually under contract on a place on Maui right now. It's a single family, but it's split into 3 units. And so that closes in 10 days. So that's really my big focus, is just to focus on getting that asset stabilized and to kind of diversify myself a little bit from the land.
That's awesome. So is that your big New Year's resolution type thing? Your big goal for, like, Alex is to become a better leader, which he's already an amazing leader, but he's being
Yeah.
humble and he wants to be more. What about yourself? Anything personal development type?
I think the big one for me is to build a better team, is to do a little bit less myself and to do a better job of outsourcing and focusing on team members, hiring them, bring them on, kind of the who, not how sort of aspect of things. You know, right now I have one full-time employee who does a lot of my transaction coordination intake side of the business, and I want somebody else who's gonna kind of help pick up that role, and then also on the dispo side.
Love it. All right. So yeah, it's huge. I mean, really the power of teamwork is the power to replicate yourself and to exponentially grow. So that's
Exactly.
amazing. I love it.
It's a good way to kind of step out of your own way too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially in 2024, where we're anticipating this is going to be an amazing real estate year. It's, you know, the more team members you've got going, the more opportunities you can take. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's cool. I like it. All right. How about Ben? What you got going on this year? What's your big personal development goal?
Nothing too specific yet. Just trying to keep my head above water with a new kid and staying in real estate and doing my job at the same time. But
Nice.
I'm
You
in the
got a new
process
kid.
of
Did you
working
trade in
with
your
Chris
old
Allen.
kid or what happened?
No. Just first kid.
First one.
First kid.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats.
So thanks. Yeah. But in the process of working with Chris Allen right now to refi out one of my rentals. So hopefully get some capital out and be cashed up to go after something in 2024.
Go and do some big stuff. I love it. Sounds good. That's good. That's a huge goal by itself, is just being a good dad. It's not as
Yeah.
not a light project for sure. So that's awesome. Love it. Tay, what about you? What's your big personal development goal for the year? That's great.
It's gonna sound cliche, but I think I'm gonna work on my faith because it seems to be a really good base for business.
Well,
I got
don't know if I can
baptized on the
announce this, but,
1st,
just
so
so everybody
yeah.
knows, Tay got baptized this last weekend.
Wow.
Woohoo! Yay, yay,
Yeah,
yay.
so I'm actually reading some stuff about things around money. So like honestly, biggest personal development thing would be mindset around money. Like not get like because it stresses me out. So not giving it as much control as I used to, just like rewiring the brain around that. And yeah. Besides the actual, real estate goals, I'm actually in the process of refinancing the Vancouver duplex. I think it's looking good right now. I'm talking to a couple of lenders long term. So kind of starting the refinancing processes for all the buy and holds right now, so I can get some cash out of all the equity that I couldn't touch for 14 to 16 months. But yeah, that's that. Thank you.
That's always the fun part, right? When you get the refi.
Yeah,
Get some cash in the pocket.
finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can breathe.
Yeah. Are you gonna be up here in Vegas too? No?
We ended up moving our trip to later this year, so we wanted to
Oh.
go like next week. We were supposed to leave, so we just pushed it back. Because I have some dancing things coming up too, so there's gonna be a lot of traveling coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tay.
Good stuff.
Is that where you guys are at? Are you guys in Vegas
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah, we're in
Okay.
Vegas.
So awesome.
Well, Henderson.
And I believe next week the Ryan Pineda's happening
Yeah,
too
WealthCon.
there.
WealthCon's happening.
Yeah.
Good stuff. How about John Kim? What you got going on this year?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, John?
This year, my focus is to get better in every way in all the equities and aspects of life, spiritual, reading, hitting the gym hard, getting back on 75 hard, all that stuff. And especially financial, I can really relate to Tay. I come from a background of not having a lot of money, so my attachment with money has been more of scarcity. And I'm realizing that's probably holding me more back in business and in real estate than actually helping me push me forward. So really that aspect, the financial, is going to be my main focus, and my attachment to money and my emotions along with money. We actually just started a book club too in Vegas. So because I also want to surround myself with more like-minded people, more growth-minded people like yourselves, and also in person. So yeah, that's gonna be my focus this year.
That's such a great idea, John. And I think that's gonna work out. You're gonna attract people who, you know, for one, it takes a special person to want to be in a book club. That means that's someone who's intentional about, you know, growth. And
Yeah.
I think that's gonna work. You're gonna find some great people to run alongside you, you know. So
Yeah,
and
definitely.
us too. And Kane was telling me too about your book club. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he-
Diedrich and Kane are in it too. So
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
What's the first book?
we're reading Think and Grow Rich right now. We're supposed to meet at the end of this month, and then we're gonna talk about it. Meet up at a lounge or something and talk about takeaways and all that.
I love it. You know, Think
Yeah.
and Grow Rich is one of those books where like you can read it and then like maybe a year later or a couple years later, you read it again and you're gonna find new things that you just weren't ready to understand or receive the first few times, you know, like
Right.
every time I read
Yeah.
the book, it feels different. It hits different.
Yeah,
So
totally. Because you're never the same person when you read it again, right? But the information stays the same, but you take different bits and pieces.
So true.
yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome. Keep us updated on that. What
Yeah.
I'm hearing is a lot of like our goals. I think they're very intangible. You know, Alex's leadership. You know, John is personal growth book club, and same with Tay. You know, and it may not feel tangible because like, maybe there's no way to really measure the intangible, you know, growth. But really, like that's where the success stems, you know. And it's hard for I think new investors to or new entrepreneurs to get their head around. You know, they need numbers, they need a metric to measure. Like, did I hit my goal? When really, like, you're never gonna hit your goals unless you figure out inside, you know, whether it's spiritual or you know, searching, you know, building a network of like-minded people around you or studying leadership. Like, you need all of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the tangibles won't come. It'll come in like little pieces here and there, but it won't come like a wave unless you do the work inside. There's something to it. What do you call that?
Yeah, Tay's like accountability and community,
Yeah.
which is really true. I love it, Tay. That's good stuff. Does anybody else want to share? Some of you don't have cameras on, but if you're not able to share, I totally understand.
Some people might be in work.
Yeah.
I don't know. We chose
Kick
Friday. Just
Hey, there's Craig Martin.
Hey, how we doing? Yeah, I'll
Good.
share.
Happy New Year, my friend.
My goals for this year is of course to do a lot more reading. I'm reading now is it You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
Which is he's a excellent writer and just very inspiring. And I also want to buy at least 2 investment properties for medical professionals.
Okay.
Furnished housing. So those are my goals for this year.
love it. Clarity. Very clear.
Love it.
Love it, Craig. What market?
Well, I was looking at Florida. I did a little bit of research on the top markets for nurses, and Florida was one that came up. I do have family in Florida, and I think that'll be a really great market for me because I like going and visiting and fishing out that way.
Nice. What part of Florida?
Miami.
Miami. Like South Beach area?
Well, yeah, I think I haven't narrowed that part down yet. But I know it's going to be in Florida somewhere.
Nice.
That's awesome. Hey, Craig, while you're looking at it, researching it, praying about it, check out Tampa. Pretty solid market.
Tampa's great too.
Okay, Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa is a
Okay.
solid market. We're traveling down there from time to time. Corey and I were there not just a few months ago. So yeah, not too far from Orlando on the bay side of Florida. So you don't have as much on the hurricane side. So I mean, take a look at it. I don't want to sway you from Miami. We like Miami too, but price points in terms of buying multifamilies and stuff is a lot less expensive in the Tampa area. But you and I can chat about that. I know you and I are going to spend some time together this year. So you're stuck with me, brother.
Yeah.
We can go to
Okay.
Tampa. Dude.
Will do.
Let's go when Craig goes.
Oh, you stuck with
Yeah.
this?
Let's all go to Tampa. Who's
Well, I
it?
look forward to getting together with you guys.
Nice.
That's awesome. Anybody else got anything they want to share for this year? You got anything?
I shared last time. Oh, actually, I didn't share this, but I'll go last.
You might be last.
Oh. Well, actually, maybe I'll share one of our tangible goals this year because it's actually pretty big. So our goal this year is as a team to originate over 250 million worth of loans. So if we hit that number, then pretty much everyone in our company's lives have changed, you know, so and it's not unrealistic. I really think our guys can keep up, but it's definitely going to be a tiring year for us to hit that number. But I think we're ready for it. So big goal.
Big numbers.
And we'll hold. I want accountability. You know, so maybe you guys can be our accountability after every month. We'll put our numbers. Yeah.
It's good stuff. So now that we're launching into 2024, everybody's got a whole different sense of the landscape this year. Obviously, the news is looking a lot more optimistic for interest rates. Federal Reserve is making some pretty bold statements that there's probably up to 3 interest rate drops this year. So there's a lot of people kind of already moving out of the woodworks.
Well, let's talk about that because if you look historically, right, that every time when they start to drop the rates, that's when we officially go into a recession. But is the housing market gonna see a recession? Is the question. The economy could have a recession as a whole,
Right.
but the housing market could be booming, right?
Yeah. Totally different.
But is there something that we might not be seeing that could still penetrate the housing market when they drop rates and the we go into a recession?
Yeah. What do you guys think? Alex Camacho, what are you thinking about that? I know you've been processing a lot lately too.
But interest rates?
Yeah, and just about, if the interest rates drop, traditionally we're gonna head into a recession, is what, a lot of folks are saying. But Corey's comment, which is really valid, is, but maybe the housing is a little bit in a bubble, if you will, or bubble's not the right word, but in a kind of a little shield, if you will, because, some people are saying there's low inventory, right? Low inventory, low supply could continue to bring up pricing because interest rates will drop. A lot of people stopped buying. So kind of what's your sense about what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not on the bandwagon that things are just gonna go like off the chain again, or I know there's some people that are saying that things are gonna rebound and go a lot higher, or there's gonna be some values that are gonna go much higher. But I am more in the kind of prediction of things are gonna not get worse than they were last year. That's good for me as a flipping company. It's predominantly flipping, so I know that either the value is gonna be there, or it's gonna be maybe a little bit higher. Or it's not likely to go down and lose a lot of money. But it also last year with all the adjustments and everything we did, we kind of concentrated more on just focusing on Los Angeles County. I do have 3 properties in Hawaii. I have 7 in Los Angeles, SoCal, and then the 18 unit in Phoenix. So they're all kind of a little bit different in different stages. But my core business is flipping houses in Southern California at the entry level price points throughout that whole county. So I'm just concentrated on that. And then just picking deals that are going to be close to a 6-figure flip, and in good premium neighborhoods. And then I have these little smaller base hits in the outlying areas. So like my business model is more tight now. And then also I made a lot of mistakes with raising private capital in the aspect of like just offering them maybe too much interest, maybe shorter timelines. So now I'm being more judicious about the capital that I raise because I need to know that we have more affordable money on these deals, and maybe just people just more on that. Hey, like there could be a scenario where we need an extension, things are taking longer, all of the above. So I'm more of just like, hey, tighten up on your business model. I don't think things are going to go down. So, but I don't think things are going to explode either. So I'm just kind of like being still a little bit conservative, but I don't know. Can you be conservative and aggressive at the same time? I guess I'm aggressive on my buy box, really conservative on anything outside of that, I will say. Yeah.
So what's your buy box? What's your conservative buy box right now?
So across different areas, so in Hollywood and the surrounding areas, under $1 million, that's like the highest price point that I'll be at, because ARVs are, 1.5, 2 million and more. In the nicer premium parts of LA County, which includes the San Fernando Valley, is going to be under 600,000, because the ARVs are in the 800 in that kind of range. And everywhere else kind of in LA County is going to be under 500,000. And then the outlying area of Palmdale, Lancaster, we invest a lot, is under 300,000. So we're just LA County based, those price points. Anything outside that we're not doing, or gonna be, it needs to be a monster deal.
Gotcha. And then what's the ARV percentage you're doing buying at? So if it's,
I don't-
you know,
I don't
800,000 in Hollywood, are you trying to buy at 70, 60, 50, 10%?
I don't really operate in that kind of like, oh, it's 70, 80. It tends to end up being 60 to 70 most of the time anyway. But every property has a different risk profile and a different exit strategy potential, right? With the Hollywood ones, I can make that an office, I can make that an Airbnb, I can make that, content, a studio, some type of stuff like that. There's different ways I can monetize that type of property. In that lowest price point of 300,000, well, that's typically maybe it could be a burr, it could be something that'll cash flow long-term thing. So like I could be a little bit more aggressive on certain things that have more potential exits, whereas the other things, if it's just gonna be a flip, this thing needs to hit the numbers, or we're not gonna buy it.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah. And then how do you be, I love what you said earlier. How do you be conservative and aggressive at the same time? So
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on how you're doing that so far?
Aggressive mean like right now, Q1, I'm trying to buy, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm aggressive right now. Conservative is more of like, I'm conservative with like the private capital and all that, where it's like, hey, no, like this is what I need to offer you. If you want more than that, then go give your money to someone else. Like, because before I may be a little more aggressive. Okay, you know what? Yeah, give me the capital and I'm gonna run with it because I know I can make money with it and give you your return. But no, if you want that much, then you know what? Maybe I'm just not the right investor for you to, put your money with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Absolutely, man. And I think too, like the conservative, aggressive, that you can be both. Because like if you have your box, right, you're being conservative with your box. But if anything that goes into that box, it fits that box, take it down. Like you're aggressive about it. So I think, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
I love it. Alex Chappell, how's the interest rates and the possible market affecting vacant land?
For me, moving, and this is really true last year, and I think it's going to continue to be the same, is that the selling side has moved a lot away from cash offers. And what's become like incredibly important for my business is to offer seller financing. And then on the back end, have the ability to sell that seller finance note to a third-party note buyer. That's kind of how it's, I need to get more creative on the sales side. I'm doing a lot of originating a couple loans that are 30-year AMs with a 5-year balloon on them. And then at least I can go and sell that loan to somebody else, or have one that's closing next week that's like a $206,000 note, but it's amortized over 12 years. So hopefully then I can go sell that to somebody else in order to recoup my cash and to go, continue flipping.
And that note is on land,
Yep.
just raw
So
land.
just raw land. So, and I'm seller financing. So I'm the bank on those ones.
Yeah.
And then
That's a
that
very-
far I've been just paying cash for the properties. But moving forward, I'd like to be able to utilize other money, possibly do some like mortgage wraps or partial releases, to use bank money, hard money, that sort of thing.
So who buys the note from you? Is it other developers and investors
No, there's specific people out there who just buy notes.
on raw land?
Yeah, exactly that. There's a whole sub niche within the niche kind of thing. Real estate, land, people who buy land notes, and a lot of those people are from people who buy normal mortgage notes, but they're looking for a little bit higher of a little higher yield. So most of those mortgage notes get sold or the land notes get sold somewhere between like a 16 and 20% annual yield.
Okay.
That equates to taking about you're getting 70 to 80 cents on the dollar for your land note.
Wow,
That's a pretty good return.
that's great.
Yeah, for the investor, it certainly is. For me, it sucks to take a 30% hit on the note, but If it allows me to sell the property, then, you know, it's a win-win.
Wow, man, I learn all the time something new. And so you guys, so there's obviously a market for it, and you're plugged in to that network. Have you ever bumped into a guy named Tyler Fager out there?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
He's here in Vegas, so.
No, but he does work out there.
Oh, he does do Arizona.
Yeah, he buys large parcels of land and like they do the horizontal development and then sell the project to like the big builders, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a few out in Arizona, I believe, but he's a wild
Yeah, I'd like
man.
to do one of those. I like to do one of those projects as well. You know, I had a pretty serious LOI last year on one that was like multiple months of negotiation, and then it kind of fell apart. But it was going to be exactly that. Do all the entitlements, get all the stamps from the county and the city, and then take it to, you know, Toll Brothers or something like that, and have them buy it.
Yeah.
Alex, because you're such a like a niche of like land flipping, do you like, because I know this other land flipper, Chuck, I think his name, yeah, Chuck over here in Southern California, a lot in my area of the Palmdale, Lancaster. I'm happy to introduce you. I mean, because you guys, there's not a lot of you, so I'm just like thinking, like maybe you could network
Yeah,
with him.
The community is definitely growing. You know, I think that the biggest infiltration is coming from the house wholesalers, those guys, because it's less work, it's less competitive, and a little bit better margins on it. You know, the financing the capital might be a little bit harder, so it's getting the niche has really gotten like more popular in the last couple of years of it, but it's still, I don't know, it's still significantly less competitive than buying houses.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put
So
his
what-
number in the chat. If you want to talk to him, give him a call. Tell him I referred you. He's a good dude, and he works for the like the utility company, and so that's part of the reason he's able to get deals. And I don't know, he's a sharp guy. So but real cool.
Yeah.
I'll put
Smart
his number,
cookie.
Chuck. Yeah.
Awesome. You're a land guy.
Yeah,
Hey, so Alex,
when-
is your business model then you find raw land that's several acres, let's say it's 5 acres, and then you go to the city and you try to figure out how you could subdivide it. So maybe that's 5 1-acre lots, then you go and get entitlements and then you build on them, or then at that point you sell off each of them.
I sell off each one of them. So yeah, so I kind of have two business models. One is just the straight flipping, just finding properties that are under market value or that I can buy for under market value, and then bringing them back to market again. And then the second one is finding properties that are slightly larger acreage size that then I can do. I primarily do minor subdivisions. So this depends on the state, you know, like Texas is 10 acres or less. Arizona, you can split 5 times 10 acres or less. And so I kind of work within these guidelines of what is the most value it's going to add with the least amount of like approval needed from the county. And so I try and find those and then work with inside that. So like taking a 20-acre piece and splitting it 5 times is kind of like the best thing to do. So I try and work under 5 splits unless like the numbers really make sense to do one of these large projects that is an entitlement project that's going to take something and turn into, you know, 100+ homes, but then you're talking multiple year project.
Right. And then when you buy the land on the front side, you're using seller finance. So that way you don't have to worry about loans, and then you're not worried about carrying something too expensive while you go get entitlements.
Most of the time I'm just paying cash for the property.
Hmm.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
Arizona,
So-
right? Not too.
Yeah,
not
so I
too-
just end up, yeah, exactly. So it's more reasonable. So I end up just paying cash for the property. Although I'm negotiating one right now that's a seller finance deal on the front end. And then like 70 to 80% of my sales side is seller financing because I'm selling to kind of the end consumer.
Right.
That's interesting. And then are you sourcing these yourself, just direct to seller type thing?
Yeah, I do a good amount of mail, and I do full-time texting as well.
That's awesome.
So
Do you use a company for the full-time texting, or you pretty much do it all yourself?
I mean, I use Launch Control, and then that's my transaction coordinator. Part of her job is to do all the texting. So I have an in-house person who actually sends the text messages, and then the software piece that I use is Launch Control.
Nice. Anybody else use Launch Control?
CRM.
It's a platform for sending out texts. I've heard a couple people say it more recently, so that's cool. You like it?
Yeah, so far they've been good to me. There's been a bunch of changes in TCPA compliance recently.
Yeah.
And so that's been a little bit of a wrench in the works, but
Dude, I feel like
There's
that changes every week. There's something new that comes up, a new.
Yeah, it's constantly changing for sure. Like with them, you have to click the button each individual time. That way you're actually physically sending each text message. You're not truly doing a mass text message. But they have a bunch of like rotating little keywords inside of there to get them sent out and to make sure that they actually get to where they're supposed to go.
That's cool. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Does Kiko do any lending on vacant land?
We do. Yep. I don't know if we can do it just for the purpose of flipping the land though. Or we can, but if there's no construction budget or intent to improve the land, then I think our leverage gets cut substantially, maybe to about 50%, if I'm not mistaken, 50% instead of like 75 of the land value, right? But even if it's 50% and the land's 200 for you, and we leverage it, you get it so you only tie up 100, then maybe you gotta see if the ROI is still enough for you, right? But
Yeah.
it's a possibility. I can look into that, Alex, and then
Okay.
yeah, next time if we're in Arizona, I'll definitely I want to get your contact and then we can maybe meet up. I'd love to, yeah, because we were there back and forth a few times, Scottsdale area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Maui, but I haven't been to Arizona in a couple of years.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Oh, yeah, you're that's even closer.
yeah, exactly.
Right
So,
on.
oh yeah, I mean that'd be
So
something
cool.
that would be interesting because I do have an intent to develop, an intent to split those properties and sell them off individually with some CapEx expenditure. So maybe it does check that box for you guys. It's not a direct flip, it's a split and flip.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to stay in touch, man. Thanks for coming on and
Sure.
sharing. That's awesome.
Of course.
Kurt, how's it going, Kurt? Sorry, bro, I missed you. Last couple days been crazy, but how you
Oh,
doing?
no worries. How you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I got a
Seems like-
question for you,
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
how you doing though? I want to see how you doing.
Good. Just it's nice for a minute, I thought that was Dwayne Rock Johnson next to you and you're like Mark Wahlberg or something.
Yeah.
I was thinking about a movie or something like, is that
I
Rock
know
Johnson
this guy.
and Mark Wahlberg right there? Damn, that's some
Yeah, I told
celebrity
him to
stuff.
stand a little bit farther back because I looked like a short person, like midget next to him. Like, bro, we're not gonna fit on the screen. No.
Wanted to share this property with you guys. It's a bank owned. And can I share my screen? I just wanted to show the flyer real fast.
Sheena, can you pass controls?
Just did.
Thank you. Let's see, here we go. It just came on the market. Can you guys see it?
Oh yeah.
That's all
Where
small.
is it? Oh, Whitmore. Ooh.
It's that's what I was trying to call you, Corey. I talked to the agent. This is bank owned by Chase or JP Morgan. Whitmore, it's as is. So I think for you guys, this would be a great property to take a look at. That's the price.
Oh,
And that's the MLS number if you guys want to take a look. It's in Whitmore Village. If you guys know, you know where that is, right? Real deep, Wahiwa. I just talked to the agent. That's the agent's, if you want to call him, it is JP Morgan, I think, or Chase or something like that. So it is bank owned on there too. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. I think this would be a good property for you guys to take a look at. Again, it's as is. So again, here's the MLS number if you want to write it down.
Well, it's on Ihi.
Yeah, I know.
We did do it on there on
We
Ihi.
we've done projects on that street before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share with you guys, he really needs to sell this property. So call him. That's the agent, Philip. That's his number. If you want to call him, just find out what's going on with that property. But it's as is. So I just wanted to share with you on that. Also too, just we had a big meeting corporate wise, find out what's going on with the market. And one thing that did stick out is there's going to be a recession, but it's going to be a short recession.
Okay. How come?
So we're looking at maybe third, fourth quarter. We should all have a good Christmas.
That's all we care about.
Yeah, that's all we care about. So
I mean, by now.
yeah, by now. But there's a lot of property I've been picking up right now. A lot of new listings coming on the market as well too. If you want, Corey, I can, if you want, there's, they have brokers open Wednesday, Thursdays here. I can send you the list if you just want to go check them out. Even
Yeah,
open house lists.
we can always go over it too. It's good exercise too, right? Every week
Yeah,
and
as
stuff.
long as go, because you might buy it, or you might have someone wants to, who knows? These agents, they just want to move the listing as well too. So and you see their rates going up and down as well too. So we'll see how see how it goes. Staying positive. But thanks you guys for letting me be on the call. But I just wanted to share that property. That's why I was calling you, Corey. I said this is a good property to take a look
Yeah,
at.
dude, that one's nice. Well, Kurt, I was gonna ask you because now First American's going through it, right? But I know that you guys at Fidelity had like issues with these
Right.
cyber attacks, yeah?
Right.
Like, is that over right now?
Oh yeah.
Because
I mean,
other title companies are taking hits right now.
oh yeah, there's more coming. So we don't know who it's gonna be next. But it happened to us on I think November 20th, right before Thanksgiving. And then we're up and running the following week. So of course we have to report to the SEC and all this other stuff. We report all this stuff, but then they changed out the servers. It took a while to get back online, but we're back online, in 4 to 5 days, as well too. So what I'm talking to everybody, even you guys, what is your backup to your email?
Yeah.
You need to ask that question yourself. Like, don't depend, oh, it's not gonna happen to me. It can happen. I hope it doesn't happen to all you guys. But if
Right.
you have sensitive data right now, I would, I don't know, put it on download it on something just to be safe. Everybody, if you
Yeah.
have confidential information, I would start downloading it on something because don't leave it on your computer. I would find something to download it and just protect you guys self. And if you're working with an IT person, ask them, hey, what happens if my email goes down? What is plan B? And it's not going to end. These guys are, whoever doing it, they're smart. They know what they're doing. But after
Is it
that,
ransom? Are they holding data for ransom or are they asking
I
for?
I don't know. It's way above my pay level, but I know that um, you just got to be careful when someone emails you something and you don't know who it is. Just don't open it, and you guys know that. Also, even if you guys know each other, they say Alex emails into Corey. Corey, call Alex and say, "Hey, Alex, did you really send this to me?" Don't get mad. I just need to know. But it's just a quick phone call or a text. You just got to be very, very, very. And that's why I always say, I don't know what title companies you work with. Always work with a title company when it comes to deeds or someone mentioned about land. Just be careful. Make sure you call whatever title company to verify that that is the owner because there are a lot of smart and bad people out there. I put it that way. They're very smart, these guys. They know what they're doing and they follow. And here's the thing too, you gotta really be careful what you post on social media. They are watching your social media and what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So I know we're all excited about this and that. Just be careful what you're posting because they're watching your pages.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are aware of what Kurt's talking about, but like within the last couple months or so, a lot of the title companies have been under attack, like cyber attacks, and Fidelity I think was the first, alongside Over Public, right? Then
Well,
Morgan.
I think a mortgage company before us in Texas got hit, and then us, and then First American. And I understand First American's back online. Or with Fidelity, we're along with TG too, right? So TG got hit too. So, but we're okay. We're back and running. We have layers and layers. You wouldn't believe how much layers of security that now we have now on that too. But yeah, it could just happen to anybody.
Yeah, no, it is happening to everybody. Like First American, like we have to pivot and move like 3 loans that were supposed to close because we don't know when they're gonna come back online, and it is dark, like no email response, nothing. And
Right.
That's scary, man.
Yeah,
And
you just got to be careful. Like I mentioned before, if you have somewhere to download all your personal stuff, find out something to download.
yeah,
Because don't take it for granted that it's gonna be safe on you. And then, I'm sorry, I'm not here to scare you guys. It's just reality, But
Oh, yeah.
the market's going to turn. You know, you guys are very aggressive with look at the properties across the country. There's people selling. I think you guys will have a real good Christmas this year. I think the rates will help out as well too.
Yeah, love it. Well, thanks, Kurt, and thanks for sharing that property. Man, yeah, that was, I've been meaning to ask you that too, because in the back of my mind, it's like, what's going on? I wonder what, what it's like, but yeah,
Mhm.
now we're living in an age, we gotta check that box.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, did you see about Kauai yesterday? They went blackout yesterday. One of their transformers went out. They had no power on that island for a couple hours.
The whole
I was
island?
like, yeah, you just don't know what happens.
Dang. Yeah, you never know, yeah.
Crazy.
Guys, definitely during election season too, like weird stuff happens, so just be ready.
Guys.
Weird things happen, man. So, and we're approaching that time, right?
Devin says that they were
Oh.
blacked out too.
Oh, so you guys are on Kauai. Are you guys on Kauai, Devin?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well,
Crazy. It's crazy times. We all need to go to Guadalajara with Alex Camacho. Probably a safer place to be.
yeah.
Depends on what part.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That is true. This is good stuff, man.
As long as you're not wheeling and dealing, drugs here in Mexico, you're pretty safe.
Yeah.
Right. You must go down there quite a bit since you bought a penthouse.
Yeah, I mean, I live in LA and here, so I kind of both. It's come back and forth. There's like
That's
10
not
flights
too
a day from LA and then vice versa. Yeah. So
Yeah. So where do you have residency?
my residency is unfortunately in California.
Gotcha.
I mean that by taxes, but
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
it's all about depreciation, right?
How long is that flight down?
3 hours.
Oh,
Oh.
nothing.
Oh, so it is about 3 hours. I thought it was closer, but 3
Yeah, and
hours.
the game changer was also a global entry pass. So it's like I walk back into the country in like 5 minutes, and it includes TSA pre-check, so it's like it's easy.
So you don't have to go through customs with that global entry? Dude,
No,
I
I
gotta
just come right
get
back. Yeah.
I keep getting
It's so
offered
bad.
to get it, but yeah.
It's
I don't go out
worth
of country. I don't
You need to. We need to go to Mexico. Buy some short-term rentals.
actually. Adrian is getting married over there. So
Yeah, I mean, there's great opportunity for short-term rental income here in Mexico, like the beaches and all that. But the leverage is like awful. So you gotta buy cash or put like 50% down, and the rates are like hard money rates, but real hard money like 12, 14%. And then the loan terms are like 5 years. So it just doesn't really make that much sense. But I have found that because one of my things I'm doing this year is I'm actually going to open a VA company here in Mexico. So that, I see the workforce down here. I've had a lot of success with VAs. And so, I mean, all due respect to Philippines, I just, the Mexican VAs for me have worked out more. And the time difference isn't much, or the accent as much isn't an issue. So I decided to open a VA company this year too.
that makes sense. Nice.
I like it. That's diversifying, man. Especially with the way the world is going. It's like we've got to have multiple streams of income and not just depend on one company because you never know what happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a great plan. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. We'll be one of your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. I'm really excited about it. It's like one of my most exciting projects because I mean, VAs have just helped me like with this whole thing of like living in different places and investing in other places. And I've had project management VAs, I've had social media VAs, cold callers, texters, admin ops. I mean, all of the above, right? It's just remote workers. So I just understand the workforce here a lot better, having lived here for more than 2 years. And then it's really much more culturally not as different as like other parts of the world to the US because it's so close.
Yeah. And there's Spanish speaking people all over the US right now, more so than say the Philippines. So the Philippines accent is harder for most people, except for those of us from Hawaii. But the Spanish accent is not an issue. Mexican accent's not an issue at all, which is great. So yeah, we were going to talk a little bit about you sharing kind of your tricks and trades for your social media. So part of it is VAs.
Yeah, so I can just do some share screens, but essentially my social media system is this. I film typically 2 hours, like twice a week, something like that. Sometimes it's only like an hour or two. I do an ideation session, which is weekly as well, for like about an hour. Sometimes I have a bunch of ideas for that session. Other times my VA is like kind of leading the show on that because they already know my flow and they know what kind of content I put out and my avatar. But it's pretty simple. It's like our goal is to film enough shorts to be able to post one reel a day, and then my personal assistant that is actually with me in person is the one kind of really posting everything from my phone, responding to the comments, commenting on other people's stuff and engaging with them. My main role in it now is just the filming, the ideas, and then the engagement that they can't do through the DMs, because it's so powerful. The DMs are really where the money's at. You want to get some quality followers that are following you for the stuff that you're working on, and then you want to engage with those followers and just hash out any opportunities to collaborate through that engagement. So it doesn't, you don't necessarily need, like, yes, I have 17,000 followers on my main Instagram page, but I started just like all of everyone else with like nothing, right? But I got my first $100,000 deal that I made a profit on after only about a year of doing social media. And it was just through just connecting with like a newer wholesaler. And that's when I believed in it, because I'm like, dude, I just made a, you know, I partnered on that deal, so I didn't make the whole 100, but I just met him at Starbucks, and then we collaborated a little bit. Then I started helping him with like vetting his leads out. But let me see if I can pull up some screens here, but it's not that difficult. You don't have to do it like I'm doing, but it really only cost me about $3,000 a month to have the editor, have the guy helping me film, which is a lot of times my assistant. Like he's a dual role. He's a personal assistant and he's kind of a videographer. Because a lot of times he's just kind of filming either me on certain content, like in a place, or he's just filming some behind the scenes stuff. So you know, it's not that difficult. You're just gonna have some type of organization, and then so it's like the filming consistently, the new ideas and filming stuff that's trending consistently, and then you're passing it off to the editor, and then the editor edits it, and then my marketing / social media person is the one kind of dealing with the editor. The editor is outsourced, so they get paid $1,000 to edit about 40 short form videos a month. And then the VA gets paid about $1,000 a month for full time, but she's marketing and social media, so she's more than worth it for me. I'm not a huge fan of trying to get a $3, $4 an hour VA. Most of my VAs actually make $8 to $10. Most because I am looking for a higher quality VAs that are going to be with me long term. So I've never really been a fan of just like, let me get these 10 VAs at $2 an hour, $3 an hour. It's like, yeah, we pay for it. A lot of people make that work. That's just not my business model. And then yeah, it's just that's like those are the pieces of it. It's me filming, it's the daily posting of it, and then the editing of it, and then the person that's going to interacting, and then she puts it's what's that file? It's content library. Let me just look at this. I'm just asking my assistant, Miguel.
Dude,
let
this
me
is
share.
thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
it's super cool.
Yeah, this is great.
It says, let me share. Can I share? What are the main
bounce controls? Hit the cap. Oh, I see.
It's okay. So this is like one of the sheets here. Let me just reduce it. So what is the main see, I don't even know this stuff. My assistant. What is the main? We use the content library, and then there's the content idea. Which is the main forms that we're using, the Excel sheets?
The one that says content library.
And what else?
It has like
Interesting.
Okay, it's different tabs.
so
Okay.
bigger than that tabs.
Okay, so if you see this form, it has the final. Oh yeah, sorry. Once we film, we upload into Google Drive, and then they send that link to the editor. And then once everything's done, let's see. So the short form, and then some long form. So this is the content library, and then we also
It says weekly.
content. Okay, idea list. This is what I was looking for. Okay, no, that's fine here. And then so let me zoom out of this as well. So this one is like the evergreen content. So whenever I don't have ideas, I can just film content in this category, in these topics. Like people are always looking for top tips and quick fixes, ultimate guides, resource roundups, explainers, best of. This is for the real estate one, real estate investing for passive income. So there's just different sections. These are some examples of some hooks, because you always need to have really good hooks to capture people's attention. And then you see this other tab is like actual ideation session, where we're just looking at, okay, what have I learned? We're just throwing everything against the like the wall or see what sticks, right? And then this is some of my ideas here. So you see it says, what's the topic? What's the hook on it? What's the description? And what's the call to action? And so we got, and so when I'm going down to film, I'm literally just gonna film that one thing. Takes me, sometimes I can do it in one shot. Other times it takes me a couple takes. It depends on the length of the video, but we try to keep the video length less than a minute. And let's see if there's any more here. Events. So it's like, okay, we have stuff on events because we're throwing, events consistently. So it's just having some organization around it is what's most important. And then that way you feel so overwhelmed with it because you have a system. It's like with everything, guys. You just have to have a system. Hey, you've learned X amount of things. So whenever you have a good idea or see a good video, maybe you want to remix that video. But again, I mean, I've attracted talent, deals, money, contractors, all of the above for my business. So it does tend to match my personality. I am extroverted. I am, kind of showman will say, I do like creating. I do like, that stuff. So it might be harder for someone that doesn't have that personality, but it doesn't mean it's any less valuable to you. So maybe, and with personal branding being so important nowadays, people are buying into you and what you're working on. So if you're constantly giving value, and then when I go ask and raise capital or go ask for deals, like I've already given these people so much, it's like, well, now they feel like they owe me a little bit, right? Because I've been providing solid value based on my experience, based on what I'm doing. And it's also putting it in a fun, entertaining way. So yeah, I'm happy to, share more like in detail on another time, or if people want to reach out to me directly, it's like, I'll give you my playbook. You got to go execute. It's not easy.
Yeah, dude, that is super inspiring. I'm with Tay too. It's so helpful.
That was great.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, what do they do?
Well, he dropped his phone.
Oh, you did?
Just send me an DM. No, send me. Well, I'm gonna put my phone number in the chat, and then well, actually, let's do this. Let's see if I can. Yeah, because I have this Calendly link. I've been using this Calendly a lot more. I'm seeing if I can put that. Well, that's my phone number, and then my Instagram. The main one is Alex Camacho TV. So just send me a DM there, or just text me, and then I'll send you a Calendly link with the Zoom, and then we just hop on for 15 minutes or so, kind of check on, because you do have to figure out like your avatar. My avatar is real clear, guys. 20s to 40s, Latinos in Southern California. Anybody outside of that, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, right? It was like conservative, aggressive. Like if you're not in that demographic, I'm sorry, you might not relate that much to my story, and you might not really desperately want to work with me. But if you're some guy named Miguel that grew up in South Central LA from a humble beginning, you're working for FedEx. I even have like the whole name of the avatar of who I'm trying to influence and how I'm trying to impact that person. So like I geeked out on the marketing and going really specific of it, because anybody outside of that is just it's a lower percentage shot of us really connecting deeply and doing a lot of business together. So I'm not trying to influence that 6 foot tall Caucasian male grew up in the Hamptons that with money. He can't relate to anything that I've been through, really, right? Or not in that kind of, no offense, right? It's like, and vice versa. Yeah. So but how big is that demographic in Southern California? It's millions of people.
Massive.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome, Alex.
You change your phone number on me. I have to delete the old number now.
No, the old number's still good. This is just my business line. You have my personal line, so you could call me on either.
Oh, gotcha. I just sent you a text just because I feel like I still remember when you and I ate at that. What was it? Din Tai Fung at Tarl.
Yeah, man. I still remember that fancy, beautiful SUV, the Escalade you had. You still have it?
It's awesome. No, and Alex, you've totally inspired me. I seriously, I get on this. Corey and I always like, oh, we should post something. I'm like probably 5 days in, and then I'm like, forget it.
I always say, well, we should post something. I'm like, oh, this is cool, and then it just sits in my library in my phone. And
what's crazy is both of you guys have, I mean, I'm not just gassing you guys, but both of you have great personalities and you're good looking. All of those are like help with social media. So you guys are like stars already. Like, what's going on, guys? You guys are, it's like, let's. I'm gonna
funny.
send you the link for my Calendly, so feel free to hop on the Calendly whenever you want to book that 30-minute.
Alex
with
just
me.
wants to cuddle. That's all he wants to do. He's just
Hey, I'm
trying
down.
to, he's trying to just get us all buttered
I'm
up so
down.
we can go over there and
Nah,
hang out.
Thank you for sharing, bro. That was huge.
That was
Like,
awesome.
I learned a lot in that. And
Alex,
the,
it's been awesome.
the algorithms don't like me, man. I probably don't post enough. I don't like enough
It's
people.
because he's short, that's why.
Well, short form, short.
Hey, saying it's just volume and consistency. Volume and consistency. That's it. That's it. That's all it comes down to.
Awesome.
It's volume, yeah. Yeah, I don't have enough volume.
Wait, Corey, you posted something super cool recently. Workout. You
yeah.
should jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, he really should. I met him when we were both personal trainers. And then
I know.
he got off the workout bandwagon for like 5 years.
Yeah. I gave my life to the game and now I can't get out.
And then you too, Kekoa, you've been posting those like long
Dude, for
form
like
videos,
5
and
days,
doing,
that's
like, a
all.
live.
I'm about to
But
go
that's-
dark
I
for
don't
5
know.
months. It's because I have an assistant. So kind of like Alex, it's like if I have somebody around and they're like, oh, we should film this. Oh, okay. Usually it's Tomas, but hey, Alex, actually, can we ask you a quick question about your assistant? I know he's in the room, but when did you make a decision to get an assistant? Because, a lot of us ask that question. I have one, but I know Corey's thinking about one. So when did you make the decision to get an assistant? How did you find somebody that you don't mind having around 24/7? Because you're basically married to them. And then what's the compensation range that you do to keep them engaged? Because, honestly, being a personal assistant for most people is pretty dry, but I'm assuming you do some creative compensation to help keep them inspired.
Oh yeah, I love this question. I can't wait. Okay, so I had assistants in LA and they just didn't really work out. I started with this assistant that was more of an intern and that wanted to be in real estate flipping. So like I do this intern program every 90 days. I post about and say, hey guys, we're doing the intern program. And I learned it from Brandon Turner because when I first moved to Maui, I was living in Brandon Turner's like intern house. He had a couple there and they were so happy to work for him. He was only paying them like $1,500 a month plus like paying their rent, like in a room rental, which was like another $1,000. I'm
So
living
legal
there.
slavery is basically what it's called.
Yeah. And so like
I think that's called child trafficking in some countries, but yeah. Anyways,
well, there is some kind of labor laws and all that, so I'm not gonna get into details of that. But because later on, because he saw me remixing his program, so he's like, "Hey, there's some like labor laws." So long story short, like I had this intern program in LA, and then I finally officially wanted to get an assistant. I went out there, looked, and we were like $25 to like $30 an hour. I did a bunch of interviews, and like I was not impressed by any of them, and so. I just talked to people, and then my mobile barber here in Mexico referred me my assistant Michael that's with me now, and he happens to have a visa to go to the US. So he gets paid $7 an hour here, and he gets to work in my penthouse. He's learning a lot. He's 22, he's a hustler, and then he gets to travel with me. But when he travels, he's only getting paid $50 a day because I'm also paying for his travel expenses as well. So it really kind of isn't working out. So ultimately, it cost me about $1,500 a month to have a full-time traveling assistant. But yes, as you said earlier, like it had to be a good fit. So he didn't start with that position. It was like he was coming, helping out with personal stuff, making my smoothies, doing my laundry, driving me around, calling Ubers, like filming back, just backstage stuff, all that. He just started with that, and then he just proved himself over and over again. And I'm, all right, you're coming to LA with me on this trip. And then he proved himself there because he's also driving me around. So, I mean, think about it from that perspective. He's 22. He's getting to hang around in cool places with cool people. He's working a lot, but there's times where he's in the penthouse with me. He's not really working that much because like it's not that busy of a day. So there's ebbs and flows, up and down. And so it's definitely been like work in progress, and we've had to work a relationship because I'm tough and I'm demanding, and my life is really, really, really fast paced. So
and your
but
laundry
he stepped
smells
up.
really bad, so
Everybody's laundry smells really bad.
Oh my god. And so it's been fun.
Corey smells mine secretly. It's kind of a weird thing, but some people are into that kind of crap. But we won't publicize that on Instagram. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's actually brilliant, especially from the fact that he's in Mexico and you're able to kind of create that relationship. Of course, a Mexican driving in LA sounds a little scary, but
No, it's
Yeah.
tougher to drive in. It's tougher to drive in Mexico. So driving in LA is easy for him. And his
I,
dad
dude,
was actually.
honestly, I think it's worse in LA than it is in Mexico. I'll drive in Mexico any day because
I
there's
don't
no
know,
rules
bro.
in Mexico. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's
Well,
great. It's like in
there's
Thailand.
There's some truth to that. But his dad's a truck driver, so he actually has a commercial driver's license, so he actually would drive his dad's commercial trucks too. So he drives motorcycles, so he's a stud. He likes to drive. He likes, and he loves the Chicano culture that LA is very kind of popular. The East LA kind of, you've seen some of these classic 80s, 90s Latino movies, or I think one of them was like Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, and some of these, just like the Chicano culture is very strong in LA. And there's just, again, the cultural fit between Mexico and LA. It's like there's some parts of LA that's like 90% Mexican. Like you go into like East LA and these other places, and it's like I feel like in Mexico. So there's a lot of that continuity, I guess I would say, too.
That's
for
awesome.
him.
Well, when you start your VA company up, you should consider a division of it called PAs, personal assistants, and then see if you can replicate Miguel, because I bet there'd be a ton of people who would be down for that.
You hear that, Miguel? We got to replicate. We got to duplicate you, bro. Yeah, I thought of that.
Yeah, in
It's
fact,
super
tell
valuable.
Miguel that Corey and I would pay him double.
This guy.
And tell him he doesn't even have to do Corey's stinky underwear.
No.
Oh my God.
That's awesome, Alex.
Good stuff, good stuff.
As always, Alex, you always give so much wisdom from your experience. It's awesome. And Alex, I'm going to say this in front of everybody, but I've watched you grow in your business and as a businessman over the last 5 years, and it's been super impressive because you've kept your humble heart and your heart to help other people, and it's super cool. I mean, I remember when you were at Tarl's event, and you and I just kind of hook up here and there and saw each other, and you were always so hungry to work hard, and you're still working hard, and you're very successful, but you haven't let the arrogance and the wealth cloud the way that you are as a person. So keep it up, man.
Thanks for sharing, dude.
Thank you guys. I'm here to serve. Appreciate you guys and the community you guys built. You guys inspired me a lot to build my own community, so I feel like I definitely try to pay it forward like you guys are doing. So thank you for the comments. It means a lot.
Well, you inspire us, so thank you guys, and thank everyone for always sharing your time here on a Friday. And Happy New Year, and have a great weekend. We'll see you guys all next week. Thank you guys.
Aloha. Happy New Year,
Guys have a
everybody.
great week.
There we go.
Bye.